Beloved, not every meeting in life is chance. Some souls cross your path because heaven itself has arranged the encounter. Spirit weaves threads between hearts long before the eyes ever meet. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt as if you had known them for centuries? Have you ever met a person and felt instantly at home, as though no introductions were needed? That is not coincidence, it is connection. It is the whisper of Spirit saying, "This one belongs to your journey." A spiritual connection is different from attraction, different from friendship, even different from love as the world defines it. It goes deeper. It is soul speaking to soul. It is the recognition of something eternal, a bond that was written before time and revealed in perfect order. When you feel it, you know it. You cannot reason it away. You cannot explain it with logic, because it is not the mind that knows. It is the heart. It is the soul. It is Spirit itself. There are signs that tell you when a connection is more than chance, when it is divine law at work. And as you begin to notice these signs, you will understand why certain people feel like home, why certain bonds refuse to break, and why some souls arrive in your life exactly when you need them most. Spirit is always speaking, always guiding, always aligning you with those who are meant to walk beside you. And when you recognize these signs, you will never again mistake a divine encounter for a coincidence. The first sign, beloved, is instant recognition. You meet this person and something in you whispers, "I know you." It does not matter if you have never crossed paths before in this lifetime. Your soul remembers. It is like returning to a place you have never been yet somehow feels familiar. You sit beside them and silence is comfortable, as though you have shared countless conversations long before the present moment. This is not imagination, it is memory of the soul. Spirit arranges meetings that defy explanation. You may meet them in an unexpected place, in an ordinary moment, yet the encounter feels extraordinary. You walk away and cannot shake the feeling that you have crossed a threshold, that something has shifted. Their presence stirs something deep within you, and you cannot dismiss it as chance. This is recognition, the soul seeing what the eyes cannot. When Florence Scovel Shinn spoke of divine law, she taught that nothing comes by accident. Every encounter is drawn by vibration, and those who are meant for you are magnetized into your orbit. That is why instant recognition feels so natural. It is not sudden at all. It is the unveiling of something long established. The connection already existed in the unseen, and now Spirit has simply revealed it in the seen. Think of it like a key and a lock. The key may lie hidden for years, but the moment it meets the lock, it turns with ease. The sound is familiar, the fit is perfect. You do not need to force it, it was made to align. So it is with spiritual connection. When you meet someone with whom you share a soul bond, the alignment is immediate. No effort, no struggle, no need to prove or perform. Recognition flows like breath. Many have described it as déjà vu. You walk away thinking, "Have we met before?" But what you are experiencing is deeper than memory of the mind. It is memory of the soul. It is eternity breaking through time to remind you of what has always been true. You are connected. Beloved, pay attention to these moments. Spirit does not waste energy. If your heart leaps, if your soul leans forward, if your spirit whispers, "This one matters," do not ignore it. Instant recognition is Spirit's way of showing you that this connection is sacred. Not every person will evoke it, not every meeting will carry it, but when it comes, it is a sign that your journey has intertwined with another in ways unseen. And do not mistake recognition for romance alone. Spiritual connection takes many forms. It may be a friend who feels like family, a mentor whose words awaken your spirit, or even a stranger whose presence brings comfort you cannot explain. Recognition is not limited by role. It is the essence of the bond that matters. What unites them all is the knowing that this person is not passing through by accident. They are placed in your path by divine design. When you recognize someone at the soul level, you feel safe. You feel seen. You feel that your spirit can rest in their presence without fear of judgment or misunderstanding. It is as though the walls you built over years of life crumble the moment they enter. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to hide, because they already know you beyond words. That is the beauty of instant recognition. It feels like coming home. So beloved, watch closely. When you meet someone and your spirit leaps before your mind can reason, when comfort comes before conversation, when peace arrives before proof, you are witnessing the first sign of spiritual connection. Do not dismiss it as coincidence. Acknowledge it as divine. Whisper to yourself, "This is no accident. Spirit has aligned our paths. My soul remembers." And in that moment, you honor the truth of recognition, the first sign that you are spiritually connected with someone. Another sign, beloved, that you are spiritually connected with someone is silent understanding. Words become secondary when souls know each other deeply. You find yourself resting in their presence without the need to explain or defend. You may sit together in quiet, and yet the silence feels full, alive, and rich. It is not emptiness, it is communion. Spirit does not require constant explanation. When two souls are aligned, the energy between them speaks louder than sentences. A look across the room communicates volumes. A single gesture is enough to convey what pages of words could not. This is because the connection flows beneath language. It is heart to heart, spirit to spirit, truth to truth. Have you ever been with someone who seemed to understand your feelings before you spoke them? They noticed the shift in your tone, the weight in your sigh, the sparkle in your smile. They discern without asking, because their spirit is tuned to yours. That is silent understanding. It is not born of study, but of connection. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded us that intuition is spirit's direct voice to the soul. When you are spiritually connected with someone, intuition flows more easily. You sense their thoughts, they sense yours, not because you pry, but because spirit bridges the gap. You may think of them and suddenly they reach out. You may feel a tug in your heart only to learn later that they needed prayer or encouragement. This is the language of silent understanding, the unseen cord tying you together. Silent understanding brings peace. In a world filled with noise, with endless explanations and justifications, to find someone with whom you can simply be is a gift from spirit. You do not need to justify your tears, your dreams, or your fears. They see you and they understand, not through the mind, but through the soul. Beloved, you will know this sign when you no longer feel the pressure to perform. You are not calculating what to say, not rehearsing your responses. You simply relax. Your guard lowers. Your heart exhales. That is silent understanding at work. It is the Spirit's way of telling you, this soul is aligned with yours. Here, you are safe. Think of it like music. When two instruments are tuned to the same key, they can play together in harmony without clashing. No matter what notes they choose, the sound is pleasant, the flow is natural. But if one is out of tune, the harmony falters. In the same way, silent understanding is evidence that you and this person are tuned to the same key. Your souls vibrate together, producing harmony without effort. And this understanding endures even when words are absent. There may be distance, there may be silence, but the connection remains. You sense when they are near in spirit. You know when they are heavy, even if they say nothing. You celebrate when they are lifted, even if no announcement is made. This is not guessing. It is knowing, because the bond is spiritual. Beloved, treasure those who bring this gift into your life. Do not take lightly the ones with whom silence feels holy. For many can talk endlessly, but few can share silence without discomfort. To sit beside someone and feel full without words is a rare sign that the connection is deeper than flesh. It is soul to soul. So when you find yourself with someone who understands without asking, who feels without being told, who sees without explanation, recognize it as a divine sign. Spirit has linked you, Spirit has tuned you, Spirit has aligned you, and the silent understanding between you is the whisper of heaven saying, this bond is real. This connection is eternal. Another sign, beloved, that you are spiritually connected with someone is shared energy. You will notice that your feelings and theirs often intertwine, as though your spirits are conversing without the use of words. When they are lifted, you feel lighter too. When they are burdened, you sense the weight even from afar. It is not imagination, it is vibration. Spirit has joined your energies, and what flows through one often ripples through the other. This is why, at times, You may think of them suddenly and later discover they were in need of prayer or encouragement at that exact moment. Or perhaps you wake with a heaviness in your chest, only to learn that they were walking through trial. This is not coincidence, it is confirmation. Spirit has bound your energies together so that neither of you walks alone. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke of the law of vibration. Everything is energy, and energy responds to energy. When you are spiritually connected with someone, your frequencies harmonize. You may not always be in the same place physically, but in spirit you are tuned to the same channel. Just as two radios on the same frequency pick up the same sound, so too do connected souls feel one another across distance. Beloved, have you ever entered a room and felt a sudden shift when that person was present? The atmosphere seems brighter, calmer, or more alive. Their energy influences yours before words are exchanged. Or have you noticed that when you leave their company, you carry their peace with you, as though a fragrance lingers long after the person is gone? This is the sign of shared energy, a mark that your connection is not confined to the physical. It radiates into the unseen. This bond can be uplifting or heavy depending on how it is nurtured. If both walk in light, the energy exchange is strengthening, a constant encouragement. If one falls into fear, the other may feel the tug, but spirit allows it so prayer, love, and intercession can flow. Shared energy is not meant to drain. It is meant to remind you that you are bound together in ways that transcend logic. Think of it like a candle flame. When one candle is lit and touches another, both glow without one being diminished. The flame spreads, the light multiplies. So it is when you share energy with a spiritually connected soul. Their fire lights yours, your warmth fuels theirs, and together the glow is brighter than either could achieve alone. Beloved, pay attention to how your spirit feels in the presence of another. If you consistently feel lighter, freer, more yourself, that is a sign the energies between you are aligned by spirit. If you sense that your burdens lessen when they arrive, or that your joy multiplies when they rejoice, it is proof that the connection is spiritual, not superficial. And when you notice the silent tug of their energy, even at a distance, honor it. Do not dismiss it as strange. Instead, pause, breathe, and send them love in spirit. Whisper a prayer, declare peace over them, affirm abundance for them. That energy will travel as surely as a letter sent in the mail, for spirit carries what is spoken with faith. This is why, beloved, spirit warns us to be mindful of who we allow close. Not every energy is meant to mingle with yours. But when you are spiritually connected with someone by divine appointment, the shared energy is a gift, a reminder that heaven ties souls together for mutual growth, comfort, and purpose. So watch for this sign. When your moods, thoughts, and feelings seem to flow together, when their presence shifts your atmosphere, when their burdens tug at your heart even from afar, you are witnessing the third sign. It is Spirit's way of whispering, "This bond is true. Your souls are intertwined." Another sign, beloved, that you are spiritually connected with someone is divine timing. They do not appear a moment too soon, nor a moment too late. Spirit places them in your path precisely when their presence will serve your growth, your healing, or your purpose. To the natural eye, it may look like chance, but to the soul, it is perfect order. Think back on your life. Have you ever met someone at the exact season when you needed encouragement, wisdom, or strength? Perhaps you crossed paths with a teacher when you were searching for guidance, or a friend when you were lonely, or even a partner when you were ready to love more deeply. These were not coincidences. Spirit does not operate in accidents, it operates in appointment. The timing of these meetings is proof that the connection is orchestrated beyond human control. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded us that what belongs to you cannot be delayed, and what is not for you cannot be forced. The same is true of people. A spiritually connected soul will enter your life at the divinely chosen moment. If they had come earlier, you would not have been ready. If they had come later, the opportunity would have passed. But when they appear, it is the exact time needed for the connection to flourish. Beloved, you may notice that such people enter your life during a turning point. Perhaps you were at the edge of despair, and their presence pulled you back into hope. Or perhaps you were about to step into a new chapter, and they arrived as confirmation that you were not walking alone. Divine timing ensures that the connection serves a higher purpose. Sometimes the timing feels mysterious. You may not understand why Spirit chose this moment or this season, but as you look back, you will see the pattern. Every delay, every closed door, every waiting season was preparing you for the exact encounter. Spirit is never late, never early. It is always right on time. Think of it like the rising of the sun. No matter how dark the night, the dawn arrives at its appointed hour. You cannot rush it, and you cannot stop it. But when it comes, it brings light to everything it touches. So it is with spiritual connection. It dawns upon your life exactly when Spirit ordains, and once it rises, you cannot deny the warmth it brings. Beloved, pay attention to the season of your meeting. If someone arrives at the very moment you prayed for help, at the very hour you felt lost, or in the exact season when you were ready to rise higher, it is no accident. That is divine timing at work, one of the clearest signs that Spirit has placed this person in your life. And divine timing does not only govern arrivals, it governs pauses too. There may be seasons of distance, silence, or separation, yet when Spirit reconnects you, it happens in perfect alignment. You may wonder why paths diverged, but when they cross again, you will see that each of you needed to grow before the bond could deepen. Spirit wastes nothing. Even the waiting is preparation. This is why you must release the anxiety of control. Do not force people to stay who are not meant for this season. Do not chase connections not ordained for you. Trust that what is meant will arrive exactly when Spirit ordains. If someone is truly a spiritual connection, divine timing will always bring them into alignment. So when you find someone whose arrival feels like answered prayer, whose presence feels like heaven's perfect appointment, recognize it for what it is. Whisper to yourself, this is no accident. Spirit has aligned our paths at the right time, in the right place, for the right purpose. That, beloved, is the fourth sign you are spiritually connected with someone. Divine timing, the holy clock of heaven striking its perfect hour. Another sign, beloved, that you are spiritually connected with someone is growth and transformation. Spirit never sends true connections to leave you the same. A divine bond does not keep you stagnant. It stretches you, refines you, and calls you into the highest version of yourself. When someone is placed in your life by divine law, they become both a mirror and a catalyst. They reflect who you are, and they awaken who you are meant to be. Have you noticed that certain people challenge you without even trying? Not through criticism, but through their very presence. Being around them makes you want to live more truthfully, to rise above old habits, to release what no longer serves you. They bring out your courage, your honesty, your strength. This is not because they push you harshly, but because Spirit uses the connection to draw out hidden parts of your soul. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every person in your life is your teacher, whether through harmony or friction. A spiritually connected person teaches through love and presence. They may hold up a mirror to your fears, yet they do so in a way that helps you overcome, not collapse. They may expose where you are holding back, but always with the energy of lifting you higher. That is transformation at work. Beloved, growth in these connections is not always comfortable. Sometimes it feels like being stretched. Old patterns are broken, old excuses are shattered, old wounds are brought to the surface. But the purpose is never to harm, it is to heal. Spirit will use this bond to refine you, like gold passing through fire. The fire is not there to destroy, but to burn away what is false, leaving only the true and pure. Think of it as a garden. Alone, a seed may remain buried for years. But when the right gardener comes, they water it, they expose it to light, they tend to its soil, and suddenly it springs to life. So it is with spiritual connections. They water your dreams, they expose your gifts to the light, they stir your soil until what was dormant comes alive. Their role is not to replace Spirit, but to assist Spirit in awakening you. And the transformation is mutual. A true spiritual connection is not one-sided. As they awaken you, you awaken them. As they stretch you, you stretch them. The growth flows in both directions, creating a bond that continually evolves. Together, You rise higher than either could alone. This is why you may notice that with such a person, seasons of growth accelerate. What took you years to achieve alone may unfold in months with their presence, because spirit multiplies progress through connection. Beloved, this is how you know the bond is divine. It does not drag you down, it lifts you up. It does not chain you to the past, it points you to the future. It does not keep you small, it calls you to expand. If someone consistently pulls you into fear, into compromise, into lesser versions of yourself, that is not divine connection. But if their presence strengthens your faith, sharpens your vision, and makes you more aligned with spirit, that is a true sign. Pay attention to the fruits. Do you find yourself more patient, more courageous, more hopeful because of them? Do you step into new opportunities, take risks you once avoided, release fears you once clung to? Do you feel yourself shedding old skins and embracing new life? That, beloved, is the fruit of spiritual growth. So when you meet someone and notice that spirit uses them to transform you, to call you into greatness, to pull out the treasures hidden within, do not take it lightly. Whisper to yourself, this is a divine connection. Spirit is using this bond to make me more of who I was created to be. That is the fifth sign: growth and transformation. The holy evidence that this bond is not shallow, not fleeting, but eternal in its purpose. Another sign, beloved, that you are spiritually connected with someone is the unshakable bond. Time may pass, distance may stretch, silence may linger, yet the connection remains unbroken. It is as if an invisible thread ties your souls together, and no matter how far you wander, spirit gently pulls you back into remembrance of each other. This bond is not of flesh alone, nor of circumstance. It is woven by spirit, and what spirit weaves cannot be undone. You may notice that even when you go weeks, months, or even years without speaking, the moment you reconnect, it feels as if no time has passed. The conversation flows, the comfort returns, the recognition reignites. You do not need to rebuild trust because it was never destroyed. This is the mark of a bond that transcends the natural. It is rooted in eternity, not in convenience. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke of divine law being unchanging and eternal. When spirit forges a connection, it carries that same quality. Circumstances may shift, life paths may diverge, but the bond remains, steady as the law itself. It is not dependent on constant contact or daily words. It lives in the soul, and the soul does not forget. Beloved, have you ever thought of someone out of the blue after years apart, only to find they were thinking of you as well? That is not accident. It is alignment. Spirit whispers to both hearts at once, because the bond is alive. Or perhaps you walked through seasons of silence, but the moment of reconnection was marked by divine timing, as though spirit had orchestrated the reunion at the perfect hour. This is the beauty of an unshakable bond. It cannot be severed by time, distance, or silence. Think of it like the ocean tide. The waves may pull back, but they always return. The rhythm never ends. In the same way, souls connected by spirit may drift for a season, but they always find their way back into each other's orbit. And when they do, the bond is not weaker but stronger, because spirit has refined each of you in the waiting. Beloved, this bond is not about dependency. It is not about clinging in fear of losing. It is about trust. Trust that what is meant will remain. Trust that distance cannot destroy. Trust that spirit holds the connection steady. You do not grasp it with desperate hands. You hold it with open palms, knowing that divine bonds are unbreakable, and you will know this sign because no storm can uproot it. Misunderstandings may arise, seasons may change, but beneath it all, there is a certainty that the bond endures. You feel it in your spirit, that quiet assurance that this soul is tied to you beyond circumstance. Even when your mind doubts, your heart knows. Even when appearances suggest separation, your spirit whispers, this bond is not broken. Beloved, treasure such connections. In a world where many bonds are fragile, easily shaken, easily abandoned, to find one that is steady, strong, and eternal is proof of spirit's hand. These are the people who remain your anchor when life shakes, who remind you of truth when you forget, who hold space for you no matter the distance. So when you find someone whose presence lingers even in absence, whose bond remains even in silence, recognize it as sacred. Whisper to yourself, this is not ordinary. Spirit has tied us together with an unshakable bond. That is the sixth sign, beloved, that you are spiritually connected with someone, bound not by chance, not by flesh, but by Spirit's eternal weaving. The seventh sign, beloved, that you are spiritually connected with someone is inner peace. True connection does not stir confusion. It does not breed chaos. It does not weigh you down with heaviness. Instead, it brings calm to your soul, a steady assurance that with this person you are safe, seen, and aligned. It is the peace that passes understanding, the kind of rest that cannot be explained by logic, but can only be felt by the Spirit. Have you ever noticed that when you are with someone truly connected to you, your heart slows, your shoulders drop, your mind unclenches? You may not even speak, yet a wave of calm covers you. Their presence is like shade in the heat of the day, like quiet waters in the midst of noise. Spirit flows through them, and in their company you find yourself breathing more deeply, feeling more freely, resting more fully. This is no accident. This is the mark of divine connection. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded us that anxiety is the signal of misalignment, and peace is the evidence of spirit. When you are joined with someone by divine design, their presence will draw you toward peace, not away from it. Even in times of difficulty, even when storms arise, there will remain a foundation of calm between you. Your spirit will whisper, this is safe, this is steady, this is true. Beloved, peace is not the absence of challenge but the presence of alignment. You may face trials together, but even in the midst of them, there is a quiet strength. You may walk through disagreements, but at the root there is no fear of collapse. The peace of spirit is the thread that holds you steady, reminding you that the bond is not fragile, that love is stronger than discord, that connection is deeper than conflict. Think of it like the eye of a storm. Around you, winds may rage and waves may crash, but at the center there is stillness. That stillness is the gift of a spiritual connection. The world may shift, life may change, but with them, your spirit rests. You do not second guess your worth. You do not doubt their presence. You do not feel the need to strive. You are at peace because you are aligned. And this peace is not only felt in their presence. It lingers even when they are away. You may carry their calm like a fragrance long after parting. You may think of them and feel the same reassurance as if they stood beside you. That is how you know the bond is not flesh alone. It is spirit flowing between you. Beloved, in a world where many relationships leave people drained, anxious, and insecure, Spirit reminds us that divine connections bring the opposite. They restore, they refresh, they renew. They draw you closer to God, closer to truth, closer to yourself. That is why peace is the ultimate sign. For Spirit does not divide, it unites. Spirit does not confuse, it clarifies. Spirit does not burden, it lifts. So watch for this sign. When you are with someone and your soul feels quiet, when their presence strengthens your faith instead of weakening it, when your heart rests instead of races, you are in the presence of a true connection. Whisper to yourself, this peace is proof, this calm is confirmation. Spirit has aligned us. And so, beloved, as we gather all these signs together, instant recognition, silent understanding, shared energy, divine timing, growth and transformation, the unshakable bond, and inner peace, you will see that spirit leaves no confusion. When you are spiritually connected with someone, heaven will confirm it through signs that speak louder than words. And in that knowing, you can walk with gratitude, trusting that every soul Spirit places in your life has purpose, has meaning, and has been aligned by divine law. Beloved, we have walked through the 7 signs that reveal when a soul is tied to you by Spirit. Instant recognition, silent understanding, shared energy, divine timing, growth and transformation, the unshakable bond, and inner peace. These are not accidents, they are divine appointments. Spirit does not deal in confusion. Spirit confirms through peace, through timing, through harmony, through signs that cannot be denied. Now let us seal this truth with decree. Place your hand upon your heart and speak with authority. I am divinely connected only with those who lift my soul higher. Spirit aligns me with people who bring peace, growth, and transformation. I release every bond that is not ordained for me, and I embrace only those connections that are written by divine law. I trust that every meeting is arranged in perfect timing, and I walk in gratitude for the souls who walk beside me. I say it again, with greater forces. I attract divine connections. I recognize true bonds by their signs. I am never deceived, for Spirit speaks clearly. My soul knows its companions, my heart rests in its peace. My path is aligned with those who help me fulfill my purpose. Beloved, let these words be your shield and your guide. When confusion arises, return to them. When doubt whispers, speak them louder. When fear suggests you are alone, remind yourself that Spirit has already aligned the right people for your journey. You are never without support, never without guidance, never without divine companionship. So walk forward with confidence. Expect recognition, welcome understanding, cherish shared energy, trust divine timing, embrace transformation, hold fast to unshakable bonds, and above all, rest in the inner peace that proves Spirit has aligned you. And so it is.